watched the New Year message addressed by the new Head Minister, Venerable San. He suggested as the direction of this year's practice, 6 items of mindfulness in daily practice. Especially the first item is the essence of that. So I would like to elaborate the first item a little more. Every year, Won Dharma Center holds interfaith retreat that's initiated by the Christian pastor Kim Dong-yu, Pastor Kim Dong-yu. And he brings some young people from his Sangha and Korean Zen priest bring his own young people and Won Dharma Center or plus Won Temple bring the Won Buddhist youngsters and have a yearly retreat every summer. We happen to talk about among priests what made them decide their mind to become minister or Christian pastors. Pastor Kim told this to us when he was junior high. He was 14 or 15 years ago. He took a bus to go to school pretty early in the morning. When he got in the bus, he already saw several menial laborers with a tattered clothes. Probably they are working on the construction site. For some unknown reason, whenever he saw those laborers, he told us that tears came out of his eyes. Every time, everyone he saw. And he told to himself, he clenched his fist and promised to himself, someday I will do something for those people. That is a promise to himself. And he told us probably that thought or his determination eventually made him to become a Christian pastor. He's helping particularly underprivileged person in New York City. That one thought directed his path. So we skipped the Heart Sutra, the conversation of the Bodhisattva of the Great Compassion and the Sariputta. Sariputta is the best, one of the best Shakyamuni Buddha's disciple. According to the scripture, when he met the Shakyamuni Buddha, after 6 months, he attained great enlightenment. He's a disciple of greatest wisdom. So one day, one practitioner asked, for most of the practitioners, they practiced for decades but could not attain enlightenment. How Shariputra was born with such a great wisdom? And this is what Buddha told to the student. Many years ago, Shariputra was a woman who had a monk, who had an older brother who was a monk. And when his brother left home, she said to her brother, when you attain enlightenment, would you come home so that I can serve you for a while, so that I can create some merit and create some karmic tie with you and your teacher. So probably after 2 decades, his brother came back after his realization. And she served his brother for 3 months. And before he left, and she would like to give him some present. In all the days in India, the monks has to take care of their clothes by themselves. So she gave him a needle and thread, a knife, a scissor. And when she saw her brother left home, she really envied him. From the early morning till late, she's doing all the chores, but his brother was a person who realized great enlightenment. So when she handed the knife and the needle to her brother, and she thought to herself, and just like the pastor, she promised to herself, and she vowed before Buddha, someday I also would like to become a great practitioner whose wisdom is as sharp as this knife, as sharp as this needle. And the Buddha said, that thought led that lady to become a monk for the following many lifetimes. And this is how Shariputra's practice started. It is not just a Shariputra or some pastor. All things start from our thought. Probably my becoming one Buddhist minister started from one thought that I gave rise in my previous life. That's why I happened to be born in the Won Buddhist family. Our second Dharma master said at the New Year Day on January 1st, the newness of the New Year is not in the day, but in our mind. The true meaning of greeting the New Year lies in exalting ourselves with a fresh new mind in our spiritual practice. If we take care of our new mind, then every day is a new day and a New Year's Day. So in this New Year, what is your new thought? One or two thoughts. That can be your New Year resolution or any kinds of a promise that you made to yourself. Or you do not have any special thought. This year, 2019, can be as ordinary as other year. Or if you give rise one great thought, then this would be a really New Year and your turning point. Just like that lady whose older brother became a monk promised to herself. That's how it would. However big a tree is, it all starts from a very small seed. So you can think about what is your new thought this year. Our determination, our new thought can be grand, like attaining Buddhahood. Or it can be small and practical. 2 weeks ago, Won Dharma Center held a moving meditation retreat. One of the teachers, Reverend in some park, working at the Won Institute. She told me her older brother's 10 years ago, New Year resolution was to quit smoking. he smoked for many years. After 1 week, kind of a reaction, the physical reaction or craving arose, which became very much unbearable. So he started to lose confidence. So his way of keeping his promise is he put cigarettes everywhere in his room, here and there, in his room, in the living room, so that wherever he put his eyes, he can see all the cigarettes. And whenever a strong craving arose, he actually shouted, said very loudly to himself, "Let's see who will win in this battle, you or I." And he finally quit smoking. One thought and the strong determination to carry out the thought that changed his life. So I'd like to suggest, why don't you give rise to 2 thoughts, 3 or 4 determinations? It's too many to carry that out. One thought better be some grand or long-term thing. Like, I also would like to attain enlightenment, which is one and the only path to sever the root of suffering. It does not matter. So you are monastic or lay person. This is everybody's should be long-term goal, as long as we search for happiness and the freedom which is perpetual and unconditional. That's why we all chant Ilan Samba. We all every time in order to remind our life direction. That can be your one goal. The other goal can be something very small and practical. Like that I quit smoking, or I would like to meditate every day 20 minutes in the morning. I will not skip Sunday service, whatever. How can we realize this grand goal, at the same time practical, small goal or small determination? Just like our new head Dharma master suggested, if we carry out these 6 items of mindfulness in daily practice, you can achieve both of the goals. Both of the goals. Why don't you read it together? Yeah. 6 items of mindfulness in daily practice. Yes, Steve, would you read it loud?
Should we read it out loud?
Yeah, especially.
The 6 items of mindfulness in daily practice. 1. In all our actions, be mindful to make choices with sound thought. 2. Before engaging in any action, observe the circumstances and be mindful to study them in advance. 3. Be mindful to study and practice scripture when you have free time. 4. People who have achieved basic knowledge of scriptures should contemplate cases for questioning. 5. Cultivate your true spirit by reciting the Buddha's name or sitting in meditation in the early morning or before going to bed. 6. After completing any task, reflect on how you handled it and assess whether you carried out what you resolved to do and what you resolved not to do.
Okay. This concept of Won Buddhism scripture, it sounds very plain and ordinary. It's very profound. Very, very important and profound. If you carry out these items of mindfulness, then you can achieve whatever things. Particularly, our new head Dharma master emphasized the number one. The first item is the essence of our practice. What is the Buddhist practice? Then how would you reply to that person? Hello?
I didn't hear your question.
What is a Buddhist practice? If somebody asks you, what is a Buddhist practice? Buddhist practice. My country. What is a Buddhist practice? Mind practice is a Buddhist practice. It can be pretty correct answer. Specifically, what does that mean? Mind practice, working with our mind. Leading our mind calm and focused, spiritual cultivation or meditation part, making our mind right, wisdom heart, and use our mind correctly, compassionately, the mindful choice part. So these three areas are called threefold practice, threefold training. Buddhist practice is mind practice. Specifically, it means threefold training. So these 6 items of mindfulness is the way to perform threefold training in our daily life. Cultivation of spirit, cultivation of wisdom, cultivation of mindful choice. The essence is these things. Okay, first item. Be mindful to make choices, good choices with sound thought. This is what I asked before. For example, the married person. Are you satisfied with your spouse? To direct question. Or, do you like your job? How do you like your occupation? If it's your spouse or job, that's what you chose. Depending on your choice, our happiness or the success in our life heavily depend on our choice that we make on a weekly or daily or yearly basis. Think about that. According to our founding master's definition of a living religion as opposed to dead religion, what is a living practice, alive practice versus a dead practice? The living religion or practice, the one that is not separate from our daily life. He made it very clear. We practice for our life, not the other way. Not the other way. So why we meditate? Why we study scripture? It's eventually to make a very good choice. To act properly, wisely, compassionately. So that is the fruit of our practice. Meditation, Dharma study, they are the flowers, the branches. The fruit is always our conduct. If I narrate that, making mindful choice. In order to make a very good choice, our mind should be based on sound thought. The original Korean, 온전한 생각. It's a very common word, 온전한. It's not technical. Our founding master always try to use a very plain, ordinary word. Sound is the translation for 온전함. 온전 means balanced, complete, not biased. For example, when you order a pizza, big round, that's onja. If one piece is missing, that's not onja. Our mind should be like perfectly circled. That's the translation for onja. Thought, 생각, thought is thinking. For example, when you scold your children, or when you give advice to your friend, in the state you are upset or angry, then that advice, your advice will not be workable to the other party. So, in order to make a very good choice, in order to know whether that choice is a wholesome or unwholesome, you have to check first whether your mind is onja, that calm and tranquil. That's the first area you need to check. On the flowing water cannot reflect the moon accurately. So a very wise, good thought arises always when your mind is calm and peaceful. Sometimes, even when our mind is calm and peaceful, our mind can be biased. It has some preference to a certain situation or to some person. We need to check our state of mind. So, make a choice with a sound thought. Sound is related with the spiritual cultivation part. The thought is related with the wisdom part. Make a choice is the mindful choice part. So, our third Dharma Master, Venerable Dosung, said that this first item is a simultaneous carrying out threefold practice. So that's why the first item is the essence. Regarding this item, he made this comment. In all your actions, be mindful to make choices with a sound thought. This item shows how you can practice the threefold practice while you are involved in daily affairs. The main point of this discipline is that you should choose the right and forsake the wrong, based upon sound and unimpaired thinking. So the first practice to pause before passing a judgment on any situation that one confronts. This provides the moment for gaining the power of samadhi or meditation. This practice sets up a checkpoint in the mind and helps one realize one concentrated mind. So with this practice, we are making one's mind immovable in all situations. The more we bring our mind to a pose, the more the power of samadhi is increased. So when we are involved in actual situation, so bring our mind to a pause. In Won Buddhism, we usually call it timeless meditation, placeless meditation. For example, we practice the 30 minutes on the meditation cushion. That's meditation at rest. Before you, for example, you confronted with your boss or your friend, you got very upset. Before you react immediately recognize. This is time to practice. So, in our previous retreat, we recited this phrase a lot. We usually say that, wow, you drive me crazy. But we need a shift of our mindset. Instead of saying, you driving me crazy, you driving me to practice. You driving me to practice. When you encounter a difficult situation, difficult person, keep that in mind. That is a meditation in action. That's the first item, how to stop your mind. There are lots of ways. Like you can just temporarily, 5 or 10 minutes, you can leave that scene and come back 10 or 15 minutes later. Or you can take a deep breath several times. We need to bring our mind to pause. That's the first thing. The secondary, Venerable Dosung said, we must train our thinking mind with deliberation. After pausing, one must deliberate in order to gain right judgment. Thus you gain the power of wisdom. In this way, you gain the light of prajna or wisdom. The mind is well polished stone or mirror, well wiped. With this practice, we aim to become enlightened to the truth, analyze every state of affairs to separate right from wrong. And he said, in order to hone our wisdom, 2 things we need to remember. 3 things. 1, no great idea emerges from incessant thinking. 2, if a right idea does not arise on a matter pending, leave the matter aside until the right idea arises. 3, if you do not come to a right judgment after deliberate thinking, seek opinions from others. Okay, your mind is calm and focused, but many times we do not know this path or that path, this judgment or that path. Judgment is the best. So many people think about that constantly. It works to a certain degree, but from time to time, we need to forget about it. We need to empty and clear mind, and then we can revisit that issue. That's very important. Madame Curie may be the only person in human history who received the Nobel Prize twice in physics and chemistry. When she was young, she had to solve some mathematical formula whose solution is very critical in her research. For many years, she's very smart person, but for many years she struggled with the mathematical formula, and she could not solve that. One day she thought about that. Probably that problem something that does not have some solution. So she gave up that night. For the first time for many years, she had a very, very sound sleep. The next day, why don't I try the next time? 1 hour. Within 1 hour, she solved that mathematical problem. So sometimes we need a space. That's why meditation is very important. Just hiking. That's why our second head Dharma master, third head Dharma master said, if the right idea does not arise on a matter pending, leave the matter aside until the right idea arises. Third, if you do not come to a right judgment after deliberate thinking, seek opinions from others. Every morning, Won Dharma Center ministers get together and we discuss some this or that matter. Many times, each and every minister's opinion is very different, And we do not know what's the best. But when we discuss something, usually pretty good at the conclusion is reached, a pretty good, wise idea. It's the power of the group thinking, group discussion. So if we are not sure this path or that path is not sure, ask to the other people who know in this area very well. Just like we cannot see the value of our head, we need some other people's opinion, which many times can be very objective. The last thing, if we think that is the righteous judgment of our path, we need to carry that out with a strong determination. Just like Reverend Vincent Park's brother, he shouted to the cigarettes, let's see whether you or I will win. That kind of. So I would like to say one more time. If you'd like to carry out these 6 items, whether it is from quit smoking to attaining Buddhahood, you will achieve it.